the last 10 days, I sort descending by clicks, and I have one product with 3,000 clicks, and my next product down has 200. So you're like, man, I really wish you would diversify my spend and spend more on the products that are selling. We're forcing that to happen. And I can screen share here and give you an example of what this looks like. Yep. And so what you'll see here is I'm selling bricks primarily. I have a lot of products in this account. For just a dumb example of all the products that are available, I have 3,162 SKUs. So I have a ton of SKUs, and they're from every company you can imagine. Now, things like Dolce & Gabbana, the Samsonite, all the other ones. So I said, hey, when I ran all of them, all 3,000, bricks started to come out on top. So I'm running a bricks, what they call catch-all, which is the original. This is the campaign that I've used over the course of a few months to learn what sells and what doesn't. So this is that campaign here. You see how I have a high cost and conversions, and then watch the spend level. The cost kind of was reduced down. Now still working fairly well here. This is where we kind of pulled a lot of spend back because we're getting ready for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But I was able to reduce a bunch of spend and break things out. So now that I've taken my standard shopping campaign and segmented them into multiple different standard shopping campaigns, I have now a product line in a manufacturer and that has one SKU with variants. And what this does is it allows me actually to crowdsource all of the quality search terms for all of the best performing products. Here's what I mean by that. In the last 30 days, when I look at my search terms for my bricks campaign as an example, you'll see that, and I'll just do this, search term contains bricks. So this is just consolidating to my campaigns that are running, not my Samsonite and the other stuff. So here, now I'll move my columns over, and what you're all, if you're hearing it in an audio form, I'm showing my search terms across all of my bricks campaigns. And we can see that someone types in bricks luggage. They click on an X collection and they buy those. They type in bricks luggage again, and a different person, they click on a Sienna and buy that. Someone types in bricks luggage, they buy Ulysses. So I can see that the search terms are all the same, except for when they really want like something specific, which doesn't happen very often. They're looking for bricks luggage, and I'm saying, which one of my best-selling items would you like to see? And now I get to own also the search engine, which means someone types in bricks luggage, you'll see my Sienna, my Bellagio, my X collection. Why? Well, it's because I have my Sienna, my Bellagio, and my X collection running as campaigns individually. I'm entering in to multiple auctions in one Google Ads account by allowing these campaigns to all show up for the same search terms, and Google will give me multiple placements. So now I beat the manufacturer. I show up more often than anybody else. I beat Neiman Marcus. They're not even on the first part here, and this is me using high T ROAS goals. I'm sniping these clicks essentially. And what happens here on a micro level is because I'm only spending $50 a day across a higher AOV type of account. If I spend $73 to make one sale, I get a 250 ROAS. If I spend $57 to make two sales, I get 1,000 ROAS. If I spend $32 to make one sale, that's 700 ROAS. Now, I actually made $2,000 yesterday. This is only showing 1,000 because Google sucks at attribution, which we already know that. I made $2,000 here, and I'm only running Google. There is no other traffic. There's no social traffic. It's just search and direct. That's it. So I know that I've actually made 2,000. This will show 1,000, but now I spent 500 to make 2,000. That's a 4x. And only 1, 2, 3 campaigns out of 11 had a sale, and I still 4x'd because I'm not going deep into a risk in any specific
area. So you're limiting your risk by the individual campaigns, but you're also maximizing the amount of like the coverage for any search term and all the variability that comes with those search terms. And by the way, if you're just listening to this, we will do our best to explain it to you in audio format, but I would highly recommend if you want to get deeper into this, go to perpetualtraffic.com/YouTube and you'll see John's screenshot here as to how this is done. So you're limiting downside risk. It's almost like I look at this as like stock trading. It's like you have limit orders, and you have stop loss.
Well-diversified portfolio.
100%. But so The marketer in me says, well, once you get data here and you start seeing that, maybe just the generic term bricks luggage, for example, is the one that's bringing in the most sales, would you start scaling up that individual campaign, or would you just do, like, you'd have to gather data over the course of weeks? Like, what's your scaling step on this?
Yep. So because I actually like scaling small campaigns because they can react the fastest with the least amount of risk, you can see that every one of these campaigns, if I say like the X collection, it's limited
Right.
by budget,
Of
of
course.
course. But I can go to 180 without hitting a point of diminishing returns. Or I could take this Bellagio and I can go from 60 to 180 also without hitting a point of diminishing returns. Each one of these things going from 60 to 120, that's not a big move to Google. Now, doing that 10 times for 10 campaigns, that's $600 more per day. So when you're looking at here, for example, since October 1st, I said, what if I put 100% more in ad spend into it? I got 137% more conversions. Those are now a lot less risky. So my ROAS actually got 7% better after I put 105% more budget into it. And looking at the back end, when I was looking at just the top line metrics, my sales in September were 32,000. My sales in October were 70,000. So I more than doubled my actual top line numbers. PMAX usually doesn't do that. PMAX is like, you made more sales. And we're like, no, we didn't. So this is actually realistically moving in the right direction because it's really low risk 10 times and with a very high amount of visibility into Google.
Fascinating. And this could be like, you don't really care about new and returning customers here. Going back to your first nugget, this could be new and returning customers, which I think you gave the example there of this particular business. But because it's such small budgets, it's like you're controlling it. You're really limiting that downside. But then you're obviously using the data to be able to scale up. And like, that's doubling sales within a month, basically using this strategy and this strategy alone, if I'm not mistaken.